On Wednesday, I showed you how to turn this into a chicken, and I'm going to be using it again today to turn it into a different animal. So I've mixed up some UV resin with a little bit of Arteza Pearl White and a very tiny amount of Caramel Brown, also by Arteza. It's kind of giving me this minky colour. So I'm going to put this into my small mould and try and spread that a little bit. Right, let's see. I'm just going to take my heat gun and heat this up a tiny bit. Okay, and I'm going to let that settle down so that it lays back down into my mould. And then once that's nice and flat, I'm going to use my lamp to cure it. I'm going to do this for 150 because it is sort of a darker colour. Okay, so I cured that from the front and the back, and I will pop that out now. Just remove that for a minute. And you can see that it's very thin and flat. It's not quite as flat as I'd like it, so I am going to try and level that out. I don't have a lot of this brown left, but I'm going to see what I can do. So let me just put some on the top. Stick to my mould, please. Just try and make this as level as I can. I might have to check my leveling table. Not convinced it is level. Okay. So this is going to need to cure again, and once I've done that, I will be back to show you what I'm going to turn this into. Okay, now I'm going to use this tiny gem mould. I want to use this one. Unfortunately, there's only one of them, so I am going to need to use this twice. I'm going to put a little bit of the brown in there. And I might give that a back layer of some of the clear because I don't really have a lot of that brown left. I don't want to mix up anymore. Pop that in there. Okay, I'm going to set that. Let's move that out of the way. So I will cure that again from the bottom, and I'm going to do 2 of those. Okay, so there's the first one that I've made, and the second one I'm making, I'm not filling that up quite so full. So I'm going to cure that again. Okay, so now I'm going to place that there. I'm going to use a little bit of the Let's Resin UV bonding resin. I'll pop a tiny bit on my mat here, just a little tiny bit, and I need a very small stick. And pick that up. Okay, let me grab my little torch that comes with it. It's USB chargeable. That's already bonded, which is great. But I'm going to give it a good chance to cure. Okay, now I need to put this other one on. So I'm going to put another blob of the resin there. Let's see if I can push that into position. Looks about right. Try and get underneath there. Once I've given it a chance to cure, I can flip it over and cure it from the back. Let's see if that's okay. That's all right. Flip it over and cure it from the back. I'm going to add a little bit more resin just to make sure that that is secure. Okay. Lot of bubbles. Pick that up and then I can put that just in there, and I might as well pop that under my lamp for a little bit. We got a bunny. He needs an eye. So again, I'm just using a Sharpie, and I think I might just give him a few whiskers as well. Well, maybe not, because that's very thick. I don't know that I can make that finer. Maybe not. Let's clean that off. A little bit of alcohol. And just wipe that off. No harm, no foul. Okay, if you've got a really fine pen, maybe you can give him whiskers, but that'll do. Of course, he's going to need a tail, so I've got a little bit of cotton, just some cotton wool, and take a tiny bit off, and I'm just going to roll it. Keep rolling it between my fingers, and this is a benefit of your gloves. It will pretty soon felt into a little ball. And I'm going to attach that. So before I do anything, I want to put a tiny blob of resin just there, and I'm going to dip that in the resin. And it will get coated. Just give it another quick roll into a ball. I'm going to push it up against the back of the tail. Or against the back, because it is the tail. Right, now that needs to cure. So bring my lamp back on. I'll do 90, then I'm going to flip the bunny over and do 90 again. And that's done now. So that looks fluffy, but is actually quite hard, set like a piece of resin. Now I want to make a hanger for my bunny, and I've got this 3mm flat bezel wire. Just got it in silver, so I'm going to cut a very small amount off, probably about 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch. And taking some pliers, I've got some round nose pliers, I'm just going to grip the very, very edge, literally the width of my pliers, and I'm curling that round. And I'm going to do the same with the other end. In fact, I just want to make that a little bit more square because it's slightly angled. So I'm going to snip that off. There you go, that's square. And now I can, again, the width of my pliers, just curl that end round. So it looks a bit like a kind of staple. If you can see that. Okay, I'm going to try and grab the middle now. That's about the middle. And then I can pull those down on either side. It's not quite even. Let's try and even that up a little bit. It'll do. Alright, so I need to open it out. And I basically made a pinch bail. So you put one end in, you have to open it wide enough to get the bunny in. Open one side and put the other side in by pinching. And there you go, you've created your own bail. So I'll be able to hang my bunny up now. After I finished making my chickens, I made a little chick using the small ones, and now I want to give it some legs. So I've got a piece of wire, and in much the same way as I've just made that bail, that pinch bail, I'm going to bend the end to create a little foot. And now I'm going to pass this through the loop, or the hole at the bottom. And I'm going to put it all the way through. I'll use the pliers to bend over the tip. I think I'll just slide that off now. Just to bend over. And now I can make another, get that in line with that foot and just bend that. So I get another foot, and then I can snip off the excess using some snips. So I've got two little feet. So now you pass those through the body, and then I can make sure he's in a position that I want him to be, which will be about there. And now I've just got to fill that with some resin, and then I'll have a little chick to stand up. So let me see if I've got any resin left over. Okay, I don't have any more of the yellow left, so I'm just got my little chick hanging off the edge here, and I've got some UV bonding resin. So I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to use my torch to cure that, and hopefully that will set the legs in place. I'm sorry, I realise it's a little difficult for you to see, but I've just put the resin in the hole. If I had thought to do this when I made the chicken, I would have used the resin that was the same colour as the body, and then you wouldn't really have seen it, but it's okay. Okay, that should be set. There you go. So I'm going to flip that over and add a little bit more of this into the back. And I may give the back a coat of resin anyway because it's a bit dull. And I'm going to pop this under my lamp. And here are the photos finished. I love the little bunny with his fluffy tail, and I managed to get the chick to stand up. I think they're really cute, and it shows that you can use your pendant moulds for much more than you think. Thanks for watching. Please like my video, and if you haven't subscribed, do so. It's free, and you'll be able to find out what I'm making next time. Bye!